You've probably heard this before. The Turkish Get-Up is the ultimate exercise for strength, mobility and coordination, comrade. Sounds very impressive, right? But after more than a decade of coaching people from all around the world with kettlebells, helping them become strong, lean and pain-free, and after getting my Master of Sport in Snatch, I've come to a different conclusion. Now, I'm well aware that this goes against the grain. Some people actually love the Get-Up. If that's you, keep doing it. Not everybody wants to be called a heretic, you know? My take simply comes from experience, logic, and results. And the truth is, the circus Get-Up looks impressive, but it's not the king of kettlebell exercises. So instead of keeping our heads buried in the sands of kettlebell dogma, let's step outside the bubble, open our eyes, and realize that there's a reason why nobody outside our small circle takes this exercise seriously. So in this video, I'll share 7 reasons why the Turkish Get-Up is not the best exercise and what you have to do instead. And if you're over 40 and you want to become strong, fit and lean without going to the gym, download our free ebook in the first link in the description. Gregory von Lebe hier. The circus Get-Up is exactly that. A circus move apparently invented by a man called Charles Bata in the 19th century. Bata created a novel of lifts and moves that were later copied and used, such as the Get-Up. And while I recognize that many of today's big rock exercises that I do and that I actually recommend have their roots in circus feats, there's a reason why, amidst the scientific enlightenment, some exercises have made it to the Olympics, while others faded into fringe circles of physical culture. So let's get started with the reasons, shall we? Reason number 1, the Get-Up is a choreography, not a strength builder. Experience shows that the Get-Up does not outperform fundamental kettlebell exercises such as the swing, the clean, the press, or the snatch. There's plenty of research backing up the efficacy of these exercises that I've just shown you. However, for the Get-Up, crickets. At best, it's a choreographed move or a flow, as the kids nowadays would call it, with some value. But it's nowhere near the big rock exercises like the swing, clean, press, snatch, carry, or lunge that I've just shown you in terms of effectiveness. After months of heavy double bell work, overhead especially, I was able to hit a 48-kilogram Turkish Get-Up APR without ever training for it. But training only the Get-Up doesn't transfer to these lifts and did not help me achieve a Get-Up PR. Reason number 2, it can't be progressively overloaded, at least not properly. You see, total body exercises are great. That's what the kettlebell stands for. But not every full body movement builds power, strength, and endurance effectively. Moves like the snatch, or the clean and jerk, they allow for a logical, progressive overload. The Get-Up, however, not so much. You're limited by your weakest links in the chain: triceps endurance, shoulder stability, or a leg that gives out first. If strength and proper progression is your goal, the Get-Up simply cannot keep pace with the big rock exercises. Reason number 3, there are better moves for a strong core. The swing, the snatch, all crush the Get-Up with core activation and stability. They grant you real-world carryover, and research from Professor Stuart McGill even confirms this. It shows that the swing activates your obliques, your core, as well as your glutes and your hamstrings, while the snatch trains every single muscle group in your body. But coach, you might say, the Get-Up works in multiple planes. Well, so do the snatch and the clean, with the difference that they also build explosiveness, strength, and you can use them as a proper endurance or strength endurance exercise. And if anti-rotational strength is your goal, a heavy suitcase walk beats the Get-Up every single time. Reason number 4, it's overrated for mobility. The press, the jerk, the rack squat, the windmill, all offer mobility in the places you need them the most. And the multiple planes argument falls flat on its face again. Why not build mobility with progressive overload in a logical sequence? Instead of moving under a light weight, which you won't even notice, but you have to use it because you're limited by your weakest link in the chain, or a bell that's too heavy that wants to crush your skull. All the exercises that I've just shown you move through a large functional range of motion and scale logically over time, which means you can improve your workout density once you get fitter, getting more work done in the same amount of time. Reason number 5, it's not unique for coordination. Again, let's look at the clean and press. A half snatch. A windmill. If that's too hard for you, even a low windmill does the job. You might see a pattern here. In order to execute these exercises with proper technique, you need a lot of coordination. And yes, I agree, the get-up might improve your body's awareness to move in time and space. But so do carries, clean, jerks, squat, lunges. Plus they build strength and conditioning that you can transfer into everyday life without always being limited by your weakest link in the chain. And if you're wondering what type of kettlebell I'm using, it's the Pro Kettlebell, the best kettlebell on the market, period. We are working hard to making it available in the EU, Switzerland, as well as the UK as soon as possible. We have a waiting list in the description where you can get notified once we open up shop. Check the link in the description to get 10% off your next purchase and use the code Lebe at checkout. Reason number 6, it's an overhyped rehab tool. Yes, some therapists and coaches might use the get-up for rehab purposes. And if they succeed with it, awesome. However, slow movements alone don't make it effective therapy. Rehab should target specific dysfunctions, not rely on a general exercise. And I learned that firsthand. I tried loading my irritated shoulder with a windmill, which is part of the get-up. And it left my shoulder more painful the next day. So rehab isn't about moving slow and in awkward positions, it's about moving right. Reason number 7, and that's the most important one, you're not getting your best return on investment. After 40, time becomes a very valuable asset. And I don't want you to waste time on inefficient movement patterns. I'm aware that certain kettlebell gurus claim that the get-up has some mystical and specific and special benefits that the big rock exercises, those big lifts that you've seen in the video, do not deliver. That, my friends, is simply not true. It provides no additional or unique benefits that the fundamentals cannot already give you. The other way around, however, doesn't really work as well. The get-up lacks specific benefits that the big rock exercises deliver all day, every day. So imagine this. Stock 1 gives you a 5% return on investment. Stock 2 gives you a 50% return on investment. Which one would you choose? Exactly. Now the get-up is your 5% stock, and the snatch is your 50% stock. Both finish overhead with shoulder fixation, but the snatch builds muscle, strengthens connective tissue, improves endurance, and trains your entire body in one movement. Depending on your pace and technique, you can turn the snatch into an explosive strength exercise or a strength endurance exercise. It's one of the best exercises on the planet for GPP, and that's exactly what the over 40 crowd needs. So when you compare these two, the snatch completely dominates and annihilates the get-up in terms of efficacy. It's like bringing a rocket launcher to a fist fight. It's not even close. So let's be real. The get-up looks impressive when performed well. It's elegant, it's skillful, and it creates a bit of a mystique around kettlebell training. Now, if that helps to motivate somebody to get started with kettlebells, awesome. If it's used as a mobility drill to segue from everyday life into training, Godspeed. My issue is that its so-called benefits are mystical at best and unproven compared to the big rock exercises that I've just shown you in this video. If you want results, strength, speed, muscle, explosiveness, endurance, the fundamentals beat the get-up every single time. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Clean and press that like and subscribe button. Share with a friend who's interested in kettlebells. And if you made it this far, download my free ebook in the first link in the description called the Kettlebell Code. If you're over 40, 50, or 60, you don't have a lot of time, but you still want to take care of your fitness, this is where my ebook comes in. And no, there's no get up in this thing. Only the big rock exercises, and I want you to learn them ASAP. So what are you waiting for? Download it right now in the first link in the description. It's 100% free.